This is my review on Breaking Bad Season 2 to the final season, Season 5. I'm glancing over Season 1 on purpose because, well, that Season 1 is actually not bad. It's pretty decent, I thought. However, the Achilles heel of the show really comes in once you get to the first episode of Season 2. And so on and so on, it gets worse. So from there on out, it's a 0 out of 10 show. You would think after the finale of Season 1, they would learn from its mistakes or whatever the ones that Season 1 made and improve upon them. And leave in more to the strengths of Season 1 instead of the weaknesses of Season 1. But it doesn't. It does the opposite. It leads more into the weaknesses of the show that Season 1 set up and showed. And far away from the strengths of the show. Very far away it leans from. And leans more towards the very weaknesses of the show. And you're not sure if Walter White died or lived because he's still breathing after police got him after he was shot. After his hands can't get back in the show, but you're not sure if how long he's going to live. You know, he definitely he definitely lived enough long enough for the cops to get him. But you don't know if he's going to live enough to do a hard time in prison and have to rush him to the hospital. And how much blood he has left. So I find that a little lacking closure and a bit anticlimactic of a finale. In that respect. So, at this point, when Season 2 happened, Bryan Cranston's performance as Walter White became the only good thing that was actually quality about the show. Well, what's the rest of the tone of the ideas of the shows that I have going for it? Not good. Not good unless you for Season 1 had forward narrative. The rest of the series doesn't really have forward narrative. After Season 1, it tries to loosely follow the same narrative that Season 1 wrapped up on in the first season of Walter White becoming a corrupt tyrant criminal. And from a Sam Simpson to a hardened criminal that's corrupt. And that was the premise of Season 1, so what did they do? Well, they try to loosely follow the threads of Season 1 narrative by dragging it throughout the rest of the series. And then well, in the last season, they realized, once they realized they only don't have another season left, they try putting a new narrative on. That redemption is possible for Walter White. Somehow. That is the question that kind of sort of doesn't get answered in any outcome. It doesn't say, no, it's not possible, no, it's too late for him. It says, no, it's still possible, but is it possible? Is it possible? It keeps on making you asking that, it keeps on leaving you hanging, you know? In the final season, it's you know, I feel like this would have actually benefited better in the long run if they gave it the treatment that Firefly gave, as, canceling after one season, then if you want to continue it, they can actually just continue in one movie. And, be that finale instead of, wasting everyone's time for 5 seasons Well, 4 eggs to be exact, but they ran for 5 seasons, so 4 seasons just wasting everybody's time. And because at the first season, it's just all downhill. And, that's why season 1 to season 5 hits a 0 out of 10. And let's not talk about the tone. It feels like... Anybody have seen South Park and Bulworth? You know, South Park show and movies, and the Bulworth movie was from... That has Halle Berry in the movie, and, you know how those are very sick, hilariously dark comedies? Well, Breaking Bad takes the approach that Bulworth and South Park took, but decides to up the crazy factor. Like, for example, we get to see shit like, majority of times, like, plane falling into a pool. And not damaging the pool or anybody else, just falling into the pool and floating there. And, drowning there. Plane, you know, like a plane with people on it. And, we get to see, such other mass spacing, like, other funny things, like, other masterpiece, funny, hilarious things like that. Like, such as, this guy called Jesse pushes a dead body in a tub and put acid in the tub. And, it goes, the tub in the acid, bad combination because it, apparently, he never Googled or looked up what you're not supposed to do with acid, I guess. And, but Walter White's not an idiot because he's the only one that's common sense on the team, on his team, his drug deal gang, because he's smart enough to realize you're not supposed to put acid in anything other than plastic because it'll melt right through it and destroy everything else. And, Walter White was, like, horrified, like, thought he was, like, thinking he just looked like, well, you put it in the tub? What tub? What are you talking about? I have a perfectly good tub here that I can use. The body and the acid that to melt the body to get rid of the edibles, all of that goes through the tub into the next floor. So there's a whole fucking mess of blood and flesh everywhere. It's so funny, it's too funny. And that's what I enjoy the shows like after season 2 comes. And from there on out, you see mostly shit like that. And like you'll see more crazier stuff. Like, these are just examples that were, you know, in season 1, but they dial them up in season 2. Like, you know, like a fan of and a family member that's a cop that finds out Walter White is the drug lord, the drug deal drug lord involved, and he finds this out while taking a shit on the toilet. And we see his face expression of his feeling of relieving the poop into the wild. and it gets even funnier. This is you catchphrase that turns into a meme of Jesse's catchphrase that's called bitch. Like, he always says, yeah, bitch, yeah, bitch, yeah, bitch, yeah, bitch, to pretty much everything. It's actually kind of funny. I guess amusing. It's very, very amusing, this show can be. But then you have to sit back, you're wondering, was this intentionally funny, this season 2 to season 5, or was this accidentally funny, you know, hilarious? And I'm guessing, like, my guess is this, after hearing everyone make us talk about the show, I guess it was by accident. And, because people take, there's like this black guy, he gets his half of his face gets blown off and his body gets blown up, but he's still alive, and he just fixes his, and he opens his door and he fixes his tie and has this, look, and then he collapses and dies. After his half of his body survived an explosion right in front of his face. That's too funny. And Walter Light's freak out face is absolutely funny. Whenever his is hilarious when his wife, when he finds out his wife moved the money and the drug money they was keeping because she's like total bitch and an idiot, but somehow a good person because she's just stupid and an idiot. She's so fucking annoying because she won't ever shut the fuck up. So that's why we root for Walter when he says, "I'm the one who knocks, bitch." He says to that bitch. He yells at her and says, "I am the one who knocks." It's too funny, and it feels so good to like hear him say that's that nagging bitch. Because she was a bitch. And his son's like, well, we're going to find out in final season, what his son does and what he knows. And we know that he was close to one of the people that Walt killed. One of his family members that his Walter killed, and he confesses to his son, and son's pissed, and we're not really on the son's side because we don't really know that much about him, if he's a good person or a shitty person like his father. Of course, it was a shitty person. We would know that to care about him because see, here's the problem with the show. It does a great job like making you care about the shitty people. But it doesn't so good job making you care about the not shitty people. The shitty people, the people that are actually good people, because it makes them so annoying and whiny that they feel like shitty people. Because they're good people. But they are, however, they also won't stop whining like fucking kindergarten. Like in fucking kindergarten just because they got the lollipops, because they lost their lollipop or something. Like, that's how whiny they'll act. They'll act like they lost their fucking lollipop, like in fucking kindergarten. And they will, the good people in the show, and, ones that are corrupt drug lords or gangsters or, really the worst, especially it's kind of like The Godfather. You know how The Godfather does a good job, The Godfather trilogy does a good job, especially the first one, does a good job actually, bring out the best and the shittiest type of people, bring out the worst and the best type of people that are actually good people within the content of the story. That's what this does. It's that this does it to comedic, hilarious levels of South Park comedic levels. To a point you can't take it seriously at all at this point. Once it gets to season 2, it's like amazing. Think to yourself, I'm amused, but I'm not sure if it's good. But I'm definitely amused. And having a ball. Laughing my ass off at them. Ideas they have bold, it's like that's the beauty of Breaking Bad, the series as a whole. It might be a bad series as a whole, as a whole, but much like every bad Adam Sandler, there's some magic into that bad magic. I mean, there's some magic into that bad luck of bad ideas. Just like every Adam Sandler film that you just could hate. Except maybe Jack and Jill, or... Yeah. Let's be honest, Jack and Jill was just too freaky to why we didn't like that movie. Probably people and me didn't like that movie because it was too much of a freak concept. Seeing Adam Sandler dress up as that thing. Also how they ruined that thing, it wasn't even more like an abomination. Didn't really help. That's much I'm going to say about the movie. And yeah, so Breaking Bad is series as a whole. It feels as a whole in long terms, it was in some ways like The Godfather, but in some ways like South Park, but in some ways like Bulworth. The Godfather trilogy, in other words, the entire Godfather trilogy. Like, imagine the entire Godfather trilogy and the entire series runs of South Park, including the series that's the episodes that's still going to this day, including and also Bulworth starring Halle Berry is in the movie, what's his name, Warren Beatty as Bulworth, and someone took all these ideas and blended them in a blender. You get Breaking Bad. A masterpiece of madness. That's so fucking hilarious, so batshit insane. You just can't help not watching it, you know? I think the show's bad, but some people might like the show and think it's really good. I'm not going to hold it against you, because I can see why. It's very funny and very insane and fascinating to just watch what comes out of the show. And season 2 to season 5, in between there, run of season 5 and season 2 is just fascinating to see how crazy and how nuts the show can get, and hilarious over the old top. Eat your heart out, Lost. Eat your heart out, Lost series. Eat your heart out. Nip Tuck. Eat your heart out, Nip Tuck. In House MD. You guys might be batshit insane, but you are no level to the batshit insane that Breaking Bad can bring. Breaking Bad. I am the one who knocks. So season 2 to season 5 gets a 0 out of 10. It might be bad, but it's hilariously bad. Watch it, don't watch it. I personally don't care. It's the worst of things to watch and better things to watch. So it's not going to if you want to watch the show because you're generally enjoying it and you're aware of this fault, then I say go ahead and enjoy it. I'm not going to be mad because I seen much. The shows we gotta give the show credits, not dull or unimaginative. So if you want something imaginative that's not dull at all, in terms of concept or ideas and execution of ideas, then you probably will like this show. You probably would want to skip to season 1 because season 1 is nothing like season 2 and 5, okay? Because season 2 and season 5 are way too absurd and bonkers and hilarious in a way that's the opposite outcome for season 1 of Breaking Bad. So if you want to see why people would watch Breaking Bad, just start with season 2 and go from there on out forward. Because that's the reason why people remember the show Breaking Bad. And that's most people will remember that season 2 and season 5, the final season, is why most people remember this stuff from Breaking Bad. I mean, all these ideas and this madness is the magic of Breaking Bad of series after season 1 happens. It is over. And when season 2 begins, that's when the true Breaking Bad is unleashed. And all the memes and pop culture reference to the show is how that came to be. For the magic of season 2 to season 5. So, if you want to watch Breaking Bad to see why people like it, start with season 2 and go far on to season 5, and you'll see why season 2 to season 5, why so many people love the show, and why it still gets talked about today. Not because it's a good show, but because it's a bonkers show. In my eyes, it's definitely a bonkers show, that's for a fact, but in my eyes, it's a bad show, but it's definitely bonkers. If you want to see what Breaking Bad could have been, what most people forgot about how good the show could have been, it's to see season 1. And skip the other seasons after season 1. So, those are my thoughts. Yeah. Breaking Bad season 2, season 5 gets a 0 out of 10. And, yeah, bye.